So when we're talking about Christianity, I don't think that you can engage in a conversation without talking about the idea of salvation. What is salvation? What does it look like? What does it mean for us in our lives? Did God save us? Did we have a part in saving ourselves? Do we play any part of the salvation? What part does God play in it? All of these questions are ones that I've wrestled with at different times in my life, and I think they're important questions to wrestle with. But tonight, I want to represent what salvation has been like in my life, and I think what we can start to think about it as Christians. So as I've been taught coming up and as I've been taught in Christianity, Christianity as itself has kind of seemed like a club. It has kind of seemed like something that we want to go and to get other people into. And if you think about it, it's kind of a box. And the goal has been to get people to come inside of the box. And once you're inside of the box, you act like us and you talk like us and you may eat the same things as us. And you might even go see the same movies or not see certain movies, not wear certain things or not listen to certain things in the mornings or in the evenings, etc. And this was a picture of Christianity that I had begun to adopt and that I had begun to believe wholeheartedly. And then as I grew in my life and in maturation, I started to meet other people who were Christians, but their Christianity looked very different than mine, and their salvation, what they had believed to be a salvific moment for them, looked very different than mine. And so I started to think, if I'm going to partner with God in salvation, what is that going to look like? Am I going to have them come and to be a part of what I'm doing and to not do the things that I don't do? Or is it going to look differently? I think when we think about representing salvation, I want us to start thinking about it this way. Instead of getting people to come inside of the walls and inside of the club, I think getting them to come to the church is good, and getting them to come to Christian events and organizational things that we're doing is good. But I don't think that it means that their lives must look congruent to that, what a typical Christian may look like. But I think more what salvation is taking steps toward Jesus. See, I don't want anybody to look like me. I don't want anyone's life to be congruent to my lifestyle patterns and my lifestyle choices, but I want them to become more and more like Jesus. See, I think when we think about salvation and we think about Christianity, steps away from sin are not the same as steps toward Christ. And we want to be pursuing people and pushing people closer to Christ and taking steps deeper into a relationship with Christ. So I want to represent Christianity. It's not getting people inside the club. It's not going out and grabbing people to be just like you, to not do things that you don't do, etc., etc. A lot of those things might be good, but it's not that. What it is pushing people and pushing each other, as we all are doing together, into taking more steps toward Christ and transforming our lives and modeling our lives after the one that we give our lives to.
So growing up, I feel like I was presented with the idea of salvation in so many different ways. In fact, I really think that I was saved about 6 different times at 6 different church camps and emotional moments for 6 different denominations. And that might sound like a joke, but it really is close to the truth. I mean, I was presented with the idea of salvation in so many different ways, so many different things you needed to do, so many different things you needed to say, that I just got lost in what is salvation. I will never forget all of the times that I guilted myself and shamed myself for sinning immediately after those moments of salvation. I'll never forget the times where I cried in my room, where I just beat myself over the head and said, "You're a saved person now. You cannot do that." And I think that was really detrimental to my faith early on, if I'm being honest. So that's one of the big reasons why we want to represent this concept. See, Paul writes in the Bible, he writes about salvation in 3 different ways. He says, past tense, you were saved. Present tense, you are being saved. You are currently, right now, today, in the process of being saved, being made more like God. And then he says in the future tense, one day you will be saved, as in you will be made fully whole in the presence of God in heaven. And so what we want to do is talk about salvation in that way. Salvation is a process of becoming more and more like Jesus. See, salvation just means rescue. And it often points back to the rescue story when God came and rescued his people Israel out of Egypt and took them to the promised land. But there was 40 years from their rescue to the time where they were made fully whole in the promised land. There was a process where they learned to live in relationship with God. And that's what salvation is. It is a process in which we continually become more like God. And what this does is open up a door for more and more grace to be involved with those who have been saved, are being saved, and those who will be saved. And it doesn't open up a door to let more sin in. It opens up a door for more grace to come in, because it was by grace that you were saved, it's by grace that you are being saved, and it's by grace that we will be saved.